In today's news, first cruise ship docks in the BVI after a 10-month hiatus. No one can leave nor access the ships, and Mr. Kenneth Baker has been tipped to become the leader at BVIFSC.
As well as Mrs. Erica Smith-Penn. She signs her Oath of Confidentiality as the newly appointed complaints officer, as well as the Minister of Natural Resources assures the people of the BVI that no damage will be done to the ruins during a reclamation of land. Now, viewers, all this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Hey BVI, it's 2021 and guess what? We are kicking taboo to the curb. Let's face it, the world lacks conversation. So we are bringing you homemade cocktails, thought-provoking topics, and nuggets to rock your world. A show that promises to keep it fun, frank, and fresh. So come on this journey with me. This is Keeping It Candid, conversations for the modern world.
Welcome there, viewers. Today is Monday, January 11th, 2020, and we are coming to you live straight out of the British Virgin Islands. Of course, I am Kyla Kenesha Forbes.
And my name is Javon Wilson again. So happy to welcome you to another edition of 284 News. Today we'll be covering your local, regional, as well as your international headlines. But before we jump right into it, lots happening on the local scene. Kyla, one of the conversations we've been having on the ground, I think over the last year, is the legislation for marijuana. We do know that the legislation was passed in the House of Assembly back in July of 2020, and that, of course, the documentation passed over to the governor's office. However, up to press time, there's yet to be an assent to that bill by the governor of the Virgin Islands. He did say it will go under some additional review, but here we see the Premier of the Virgin Islands during the the January 5th edition of the House of Assembly saying that the governor is intentionally dragging his foot on this matter to cause further strain between the government of the Virgin Islands as well as the people. And I'd like to read a quick quote from the Premier. He said, "Many things are long overdue, and even tackling this, assenting the bills, even though it would not have violated any legal aspect or convention, but because they don't want us in that area, but won't want to say that these must be tackled too." He further said, because the longer you stop an economy from moving forward, you are hoping that the people turn on the local government, saying that the economy is not moving when everything we pass to get the economy going is either immensely delayed or not assented to. I think we are at a critical juncture where I think the territory wants to know what's our position on this bill and how soon it will be before we move forward.
Now, Javon, those are some damning allegations towards Our Excellency the Governor. Now, you know, when we spoke to the assent of the bills as it pertains to marijuana, yes, as you said, there was to go under some more discussions, especially with the UK government. And I know that was passed on to higher-ups in the UK. But a good point that a premier made is that right now, being such a critical juncture, COVID-19 and the economic ramifications that we are dealing with as it pertains to our tourism sector, as we are seeing a downfall in our financial services, it is a critical time to see our economy moving. And if legislations are not being assented to, this is a huge problem. But as I said before, very big allegation.
Absolutely, and we're hoping something would come out of this soon enough. In the USVI, we see residents set to receive their second stimulus check. Of course, that check was approved back in December by past President Donald Trump. So that rollout will begin this week. I'm very happy to hear that adults will be receiving $600 as well as $600 for children as well. And big news. I don't think it comes as any surprise either way, but President Trump will not be attending the inauguration.
I don't think that's much of a surprise to the people. But also in our summary, we see where Cabinet have decided that travelers either traveling from or was in transit in the Dominican Republic will now be going under a bit of more crucial travel restriction and protocols, COVID-19 protocols, where they will have to go about a 5-day PCR test before arrival into the territory, but they will have to do 14 days of quarantine, a test on the 7th day as well on the 14th day. We saw that also for travelers out of the United Kingdom.
Absolutely.
Now, the Dominican Republic have some very high numbers as it pertains to COVID-19. They are showing numbers upwards of 40K, and that is quite a high number. But I think we would really like to have some conversations with our elected officials to kind of understand their way forward, because the situation on the ground out there regionally and internationally, a lot is going on, and it could be any country at this point. We're seeing high numbers in many regions, many countries. So I'm wondering really and truly, what is the next steps as it pertains to travel restrictions?
I'm very glad that you mentioned that, Kyla. One of the things I find countries are doing, and this is across the scope, really examining where those high-risk areas are,
Yes.
not just generally opening your borders to everyone. So I'm really happy to see, first, of course, the numbers are toppling over in the United Kingdom. That was a good move by the government of the Virgin Islands. I'm seeing we're looking at the region now as well. We have direct ties to the DR. There's lots of travel back and forth. So I'm really happy to see us really monitoring that process and hoping that we can extend the same structure to additional countries who may be high risk as well. Viewers, as we head into our newscast for today, the British Virgin Islands welcomed its first cruise ships in 10 months. That is Rhapsody of the Sea, returning to the BVI just this morning since we closed back in March of last year following the coronavirus pandemic. Now, the British Virgin Islands Ports Authority last week announced that since permission was granted for the acceptance of technical calls and warm layup at its seaports, a booking has been accepted. Ever since the BVIPA has agreed on those conditions to allow, ever since we've seen Grandeur of the Seas and well as Rhapsody of the Seas berthing at the cruise pier, but it will be under very strict health and safety rules starting today, January 11th, for an initial period of 30 days for a warm layup. Now, Acting Managing Director Ms. Olivine Maynard said, and I quote, "This is not a regular cruise call. The vessel does not have any guests on board, and it will be berthing exclusively to lay up, refuel, take on provisions and spare parts, and possibly other services. Crew members will not be allowed to disembark, and there's no access to vessels from shore-based staff during their stays here in the BVI," end of quote. Now, viewers, the BVI cruise pier is a secure zone, and persons are not permitted to pass the security gate area, which will be manned. Health and safety protocols were also shared with the ship's agent and cruise line. Now, Patricia Romney, the Director of Operations for Ramasco Group, had this to say about the upcoming warm layup. She said, and I quote, "As agents for Royal Caribbean, we are indeed pleased to have two of its vessels calling in Tortola. We are grateful to the Virgin Islands government for creating a path to assist our cruise partners during these critical times." Now, in a detailed presentation to the BVIPA, Royal Caribbean Group explained their hybrid connection plans and other details pertaining to the warm layup procedures. Hernan Zizi, the Vice President of Worldwide Operations for Royal Caribbean Group, said, and I quote, "Royal Caribbean Group is grateful and fortunate to have the government and our people of the British Virgin Islands welcome our vessels during the pandemic for layup so that critical services can be provided. As we face this challenging time together, our first priority is the health and safety of the communities we visit and our crew members. We all look forward to the day when we can resume sailing and return with our guests to visit the beautiful destination and warm the people of the BVI." Now, viewers, if you're not aware, the economic benefits actually of extending technical calls or warm-ups include ships carrying out refueling, repairs, startup activities and so on in the territory before they can, of course, set sail again. The BVIPA believes that maintaining a link with and, of course, continuing to service the cruising industry in a safe manner proposed with technical calls or warm layups can be a very vital part of rebooting strategy. Kyla, when we think about our tourism sector, one of the key things to note is the fact that cruise ships brings, I guess, the biggest chunk of our tourists here to the BVI. It's definitely an industry that we depend on. And certainly one of the industries that took a big hit upon the onset of the novel coronavirus. Here we see persons may not yet be able to return to the BVI. Of course, there's still a halt in the cruising industry worldwide. But here we see cruise ships being able to make their technical calls to the BVI, warm up and so on. And at the same time, the BVI has a unique opportunity to bring in some revenue for the economy.
I think with what we're dealing with the coronavirus, I think we do have to look for new and innovative ways to find income and revenue streams. And I definitely think that this was a great move, Javon. Now, as we move on in our newscast, newly appointed Complaints Commissioner, Mrs. Erica R. Smith-Penn, signed her oath of confidentiality in the presence of the acting governor, Mr. David Archer. Now, Mrs. Smith-Penn is now ready to execute her role and serve the people of the Virgin Islands. Deputy Governor Archer confirmed the signing of the Oath of Confidentiality via a Facebook post published on January 9th, 2021. Mrs. Smith-Penn's appointment was first announced in November 2020 and was scheduled to take effect on January 1st, 2021. As outlined in the Complaints Commission Act of 2003, the role of the Office of the Complaints Commissioner is to act as an independent body to field and investigate grievances by members of the public regarding government agencies. Mrs. Smith-Penn will lead the Office of the Complaints Commissioner as well as the investigations carried out by that office. Now, His Excellency, the Governor Augustus J.U. Jasper, appointed Mrs. Smith-Penn to the post after consultation with the Premier and the Leader of the Opposition in accordance with the Section 110(2) of the Virgin Islands Constitution. Mrs. Smith-Penn holds a graduate diploma in law from the College of Law in Birmingham, United Kingdom, a Bachelor's of Law degree from the University of Birmingham with an upper second class honors, and a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Management from the University of the Virgin Islands with a summa cum laude in the United States Virgin Islands. Mrs. Smith-Penn was admitted as a barrister of England and Wales at Lincoln's Inn in the United Kingdom and as a barrister of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court. She was inducted into the Gold Key Honor Society. She is a trained mediator and was ordained as a minister of the gospel in 2005. Mrs. Smith-Penn has served as the Supreme Court Registrar since 2014. Previously, she served as Chief Registrar of Lands. Mrs. Smith-Penn has also served as the Deputy Permanent Secretary in DEN, the Ministry of Education and Culture, and Private Secretary to the Governor and Clerk to the DEN Executive Council. Now, an extensive resume from Mrs. Smith-Penn here, and we do want to wish her all the best as the Complaints Commissioner. Very important role right here in the British Virgin Islands, and one that one has to uphold with the most integrity.
Absolutely, and we want to continue to wish her all the best within that role. Viewers, we're going to go to a very quick commercial break, but when we come back, Mr. Kenneth Baker is set to move up the ranks at the Financial Services Commission. All that and so much more when 284 News returns.
The win! Oh!
What are the hell?
I'm freaking out!
Is time.
284 News
Coming to you live and direct from the beautiful British Virgin Islands.
What's poppin', what's really good, what's happening, what's up?
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News. Now, as it relates to appointments, more good news. According to reports reaching our newsroom, Mr. Kenneth Baker has been tipped to lead the Financial Services Commission following the retirement of stalwart Dr. Robert McTavish, OBE. Now, Mr. Kenneth Baker was jointly the Deputy Managing Director of Regulation as well as the Director of Banking, Insolvency, and Fiduciary Services Division. He joined the Financial Services Department back in June of 2000 as the Inspector of Banks and Trust Companies. After a private sector career in banking, he was appointed Deputy Managing Director Regulation in April of 2005. Now, viewers, following a long career of over 35 years in public service, Dr. Robert McTavish, OBE, formally retired from the BVI Financial Services Commission as its Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer, MD CEO, effective December 31st, 2020. Dr. McTavish is known as a visionary for the financial services industry in the Virgin Islands and was the Commission's first MD CEO. He is the territory's newest recipient of the Order of the British Empire in the Queen's 2020 birthday honors. Now, from the inception of his career, Dr. McTavish dedicated himself to developing and enhancing the British Virgin Islands' attractiveness as a situs for legitimate cross-border financial services. He is noted as one of the architects of the BVI's success as it relates to being a financial services center, which has yielded significant income-generating opportunities for the Virgin Islands, its people, as well as its residents. Dr. McTavish's work for the past 2 decades was solely devoted to building the foundation for the development of the Virgin Islands financial industry. In announcing his retirement from the Commission, Dr. McTavish said, and I quote, "Whenever I reflect on our country's journey and development as an international finance center and how we have done it and where we started, we've got so much to be thankful for. The BVI has evolved into a modern, forward-looking IFC that has matured and garnered widespread international recognition." Now, incoming Managing Director, Mr. Kenneth Baker, commenting on Dr. McTavish's retirement, said, and I quote, "Dr. McTavish has provided strategic leadership through the early days of its existence and has continued to provide valuable counsel to the industry, the Board of Commissioners, and our staff. We acknowledge Dr. McTavish, and I want to publicly thank him for his unselfish service, passion, value, and dedication to his beloved BVI community. On behalf of a global network of business associates, friends, as well as loved ones, we wish Dr. McTavish well, and I am confident the community, as well as the world, continues to benefit from his valued leadership and, of course, contributions to the financial services sector." Kyla, when we think about the BVI's economy and the pillar of strength that really upholds that, we think about the financial services sector. And Dr. Robert McTavish, even up until now, continues to counsel, but has really molded the industry in so many significant ways. But we're very happy to see incoming Mr. Kenneth Baker taking up the mantle, of course, thanking Dr. McTavish, for his contributions, but also pledging to continue to walk in his footsteps and taking this to the next level.
Javon, I don't think persons really understand the amount of work and what a visionary Dr. McTavish was as it pertains to creating what we know today as the financial services sector in the BVI. If anyone have heard him talk about it, they know that this is something that is very dear to his heart. And we do want to thank him once again and over again for his years of service, but also turning over the ranks to someone who was there from 2005. And I think it really shows that within the commission, there are persons who are more than capable that to carry on Dr. McTavish's legacy and continue to lead the BVI as an international finance sector in the right way.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. Now, as we move on, in a government-issued press release, Minister for Natural Resources, Labor and Immigration, Honorable Vincent Wheatley, has said that the upcoming reclamation works in the Parkwood Pond area will not affect the Dungeon Historical Ruins site. Honorable Whitley said the scope of the project has been inspected and approved by the ministry, as with any other dredging works, to ensure that the surrounding areas are not adversely affected. He said, and I quote, "I want to clarify this matter before the rumors and misleading headlines start, that when the approved dredging project takes place in Packwood Pond, it will not affect the current condition of the Dudgeon ruined site. The project will occur adjacent to the site on the seaward side. My ministry has inspected and approved the project and can verify that the ruined site will not be adversely affected," end quote. The minister said the ministry recognizes the historical and the cultural value the ruins has, and the works investigate will not affect the site negatively as they are not in close proximity. The Ministry of Natural Resources, Labor and Immigration continues to effectively manage and administer the natural resources of the territory in a manner that ensures long-term sustainability. So we're glad to see an official word from our Minister of Natural Resources and Labor. If anyone had any concerns, he is telling you, no, this will not be a problem.
Well,
so that is
great news.
Great
All
news.
right, viewers, still ahead. BVI announces a partnership with a private jet company called EvoJets, and the Turks and Caicos elections set for February 2021. All that and so much more when 284 News returns.
Is business slow? Cash flow down? Hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.
Viewers, welcome back. Now, as we begin to wind down, big news for the BVI as it relates to travel. The British Virgin Islands officially, of course, reopened its borders to international travelers on December 1st, exclusive to arrivals at the Terence B International Airport that is in Beef Island. Now, with safety and socially distant travel top of mind, the BVI Tourist Board Film Commission is now excited to announce a partnership with EvoJets, one of the most trusted names in private jet travel. Now, while many commercial airlines do not have direct flights to the Terence B International Airport, flying private is the easiest and most convenient way to get to the destination. In an effort to make private jet travel more readily accessible, the BVI Tourist Board and FC has established a new partnership with EvoJet that now offers $1,500 towards catering, ground, and flight costs on any portion of a trip booked to the BVI. Now, to redeem credit, travelers may apply the code BVI Tourism, that is BVITORISM, in the comments section of the private jet sector charter booking form. Now, a number of recommended land and sea offerings for guests to choose from will be outlined to complete the perfect socially distanced vacation, whether travelers prefer to spend their days relaxing on the beach or chartering a yacht to island hop and, of course, experience all that the BVI has to offer. Additionally, in their commitment to create a greener earth and promote a more sustainable BVI, EvoJets has also committed to the BVI Tourist Board Seeds of Love program. For each trip booked to the BVI, EvoJets will contribute an additional $1,500 to the Seeds of Love program. This contribution includes the planting of approximately 27 white cedar trees per donation. Now, the white cedar tree is the territorial tree of the BVI. Now, Mr. Clive McCoy, who of course is the Director of Tourism, is very excited by EvoJet's generous partnership component to donate to the community through this initiative. He said, and I quote, "This partnership is a demonstration of how important sustainable tourism is to our industry partners and us. We are truly thankful for their contribution to protecting the flora of the BVI." Kyla, on our way back, I should say on our bungs back, officially to where we were accustomed to being as it relates to the tourism industry, here we see the BVI forging forward with additional relationships. Now we have signed on into a partnership with EvoJets Now, Evo Jets is known around the world. It's definitely renowned for its service.
Right.
And not just that, very trustworthy as well as very, very convenient. So I'm very happy to see us extending our wings as it relates to travel and making travel to the BVI more accessible, because I think at this point, with limited options, the most important thing, or the top priority, aside from protecting the health of our residents and tourists, is ensuring that we are accessible as well.
Most definitely. I think now we really see how important, I think we knew before how important that accessibility was, but now with all that is happening with the tourism competition that we're seeing, things are hard. We realize that we do have, this is a game changer for the BVI. And I'm definitely happy to see the seniors over at the tourist board making this partnership. Definitely awesome.
And giving back to the community. I mean, the BVI Seeds Love program has been one that was launched quite a number of years ago by the previous director, but continues to sow fruits in the community. We have to continue to look out for our environment. And I'm happy to see that we're not just looking at the dollars here, we're looking at companies who want to reinvest into the community here in the BVI.
I do agree. But viewers, we have one more story for you. Turks and Caicos general elections is set for February 19th. All this and so much more when 284 News returns.
Father Jesus, that line here long like church service.
Alright, do enjoy the rest of the day. Next customer in line, please. Wait, hold on a second.
Yes, Sonny boy, come, yes, Sonny.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sonny boy. Hold on there. You must have cut fun topic.
It's okay, I'll take care of it.
What? No man, protect you.
How may I assist you? You want top of power?
You want top of power?
Join the prepaid party with CCT and enjoy more affordable data plans, more top-up promotions, more savings with hero bundles, and more value for your money each and every Tuesday with Top Up Turn Up Tuesday. Visit a CCT store today or anywhere CCT Top Up is sold and top up your phone.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. You want top of power?
Viewers, welcome back to 284 News, and I must thank you for sticking with us all through this newscast. Now, our last story for this evening, Turks and Caicos, their general election is set for this February. Now, the announcement was made late Saturday over the weekend by Premier Charlene Cartwright Robinson during a rally. She said, and I quote, "Our best years are still ahead of us. It is time for you to restore this faith that you have shown. We shall ride the storm and conquer the pandemic. I stand here tonight unafraid, undoubted. I come to you as a daughter and a sister, a mother and an aunt, and because of what you have made me, a leader." Now, those are some very strong words, Javon. She also went on to say, "Earlier today, I advised the governor to issue a right for general elections. As a consequence, the People's Domestic Movement will file a full slate for 15 outstanding candidates." Now, the premier said that nomination day will be later this month and will be held on January 29th. She went on to say, "As we look forward to renewing and expanding our mandate, confident of our victory 4 years ago, we made history. And in this year, 2021, through the grace of God, history will repeat itself." So Turks and Caicos will be heading to the polls on February 19th. Nomination day, as she said, January 29th. So definitely great stuff to look forward to. But viewers, we are running out of time. So that is it for today's news roundup. Be sure to follow us for daily news updates at 284media.com, as well on Facebook at 284media and 284BVI on Instagram as well as Twitter. It is always my pleasure. I am Carla Kenisha Forbes.
And my name is Javon Wilson. We'll see you again tomorrow, viewers, for your local dose of regional and international nuggets as well. This is 284 News right here on 284 Media. Take care.